Hey everyone, Lotus Prince here. You know, I sure had a lot of fun playing the Resident Evil 2 board game, but there's more to the board game than what we have already seen. So what I'm going to do right now is take a look at one of the expansions, the B-Files expansions. So let's take a look. Alright, well let's see what's inside the B-Files expansion. I got my scissors here, so I'll take off this plastic. Shouldn't be overly difficult, I don't think. Alright, there we go. Boxed out of the plastic, let us see what's inside. And of course there's always some air seal thing going. I had the same problem with the core set. Gotta work to get that lid off the first time. And there we are. So, we have our brand new B-Files expansion rules booklet. I wonder if that will entail brand new rules, or if it's going to be new scenarios. We certainly have we have new tokens. You might have seen them for a second earlier. We have the T00 Tyrant. We have campaign mode. Turn and page in the instruction booklet here. We have scenario guide, so it looks like it's basically a scenario booklet again, which makes sense. New scenario, new map, new scenario, new. So, what scenarios am I actually looking at here? The numbers are interesting, actually. We have, we start with 9B. What happened to 1 through 8B? I don't know. This is 9B. And then we go through the very end, which is 14B. It's up to us to take out Umbrella. So that's pretty interesting by itself. Now we have new tokens. I suppose these might be extra things. We have a door in here. We do have burning wreckage, which was not a thing before, but otherwise the tokens are the same shape as before. And they have backsides as well. I'm already popping the one out. Didn't mean to do that early, but you get the idea. We have more tokens. We have our second ever giant 4x4 token, which has, again, burning wreckage on it, or has an interesting little setup where this little rectangle in the middle is cordoned off. It looks like there's... Oh, I think I know what this is. There's just a metal... I guess, what's the word for this? Corrugated? Like that metal platform that you walk on? I wonder if that's where you would get the tram and you fight Burke in Form 2. That'd be interesting. Also, we have a bunch more tokens. A whole lot of corpses. And look at that. Look at that top one on the left. We actually have our rocket launcher. We have stairs. We have a new condition. Marked target. I don't know what that is. And the little smaller thing next to it, I don't know what that signifies either. That's interesting. And down here, we have the last of what the set comes with, because then it's just an empty box underneath. So, I'll put this back in, but take the plastic off. There we go. Plastic's off, and what do we have here? Well, the first thing you'll notice is we have 3x3. These are not all the same. We have 8 zombies in different poses from the core set, but then we also have our Mr. X. Look at that. There he is looking badass in his trench coat, doing that casual march toward us. The march of death. You're not stopping this guy. Even when you do take him down, he gets right back up. Every time. That is Mr. X in a nutshell. And I really would love to get this thing back in the box evenly. That should about do it. There it is. Now, what's interesting is that they give us 2 new lickers as well. But you may notice from the overly long tongue, and what you may notice from the overly large claw, is that these are specifically designed to be the evolved lickers. Now you'll recall, if you have been watching my playthrough of the original story here, in the core set, that by the time you get to missions 7 and 8, you have to play the modified versions of the enemies. So lickers would count as evolved lickers. This time we actually have tokens for the evolved liquors, and of course, Mr. X full-on Tyrant form, Form 2, the coat is off, he has double claw action. What a dangerous guy. Now, the stuff I'm also quite interested in are the cards. Now, this set is not standalone. As you can see, the scenario guide starts at 9 and counts up from there. But the thing with this set is that you need the core set to play with it. You can't just get the expansion set and call it a day. You need the core set, so this stuff is meant to go with the base game. We have Shotgun, C4, that's a new one, Serpent Stone, Custom Shotgun parts, Acid rounds, Flame rounds, different stuff including Grenade Launcher, Custom Shotgun. So we have a whole bunch of new stuff. I'm not going to spoil the rest of the cards because I want to encounter these for the first time myself. I mean, even if I read the titles of the cards, I would at least like to be surprised when I find out what the cards actually are supposed to do. That's always a fun surprise. And then we have more tension cards. You may have noticed on the front it says T00 Tyrant, indicating either Mr. X or his actual Tyrant form. I'm not sure how this game specifically refers to him yet, so it'll be an amusing surprise each way. But again, we'll cut the plastic off of these cards because I'm having more trouble taking it off with my bare hand than I did with the smaller deck. There we go. So this says, I assume, yeah, oh, okay, no, that is Mr. X. 00 is Mr. X because T103 is final form. T00 is coat of Mr. X. Now, I'm not going to read what those stats are because I'm supposed to fight that guy as a boss and have it be cool. And then here's the basic card for Mr. X. Again, I'm sorry for the very brief look. I guess you could pause the video if you really want to read it, but I want to save that kind of thing for when we get to the actual story. And then a bunch more tension cards. Add these to the scenario as is dictated, I suppose. We have a whole bunch of all clears, but then we have Unstoppable Tide. We have Mounting Trepidation, Creek, Grizzly Reanimation, Something's Out There, and then the red, T00. I guess that makes perfect sense when you're playing the B scenario. That would happen in the video game. You're just minding your own business, and boom, through a wall or something, he just shows up. Now it's a tension card, so you'll get surprised Mr. X. That's terrifying, even if it is accurate to the game. More of that. Marked target. I guess that calls for the token, right? They're breaking in. And bleeding out. Oh, that sounds good. That's a status effect I want. Freaking bleeding out. Can't wait. But in any case, this is what the B set comes with, which I think is really cool. Actually, I'm not going to force these in. They have these little tabs here to keep them locked in, and I don't want to just jam these cards in. But what I will show you, actually, probably should have done this first, now that I think about it, is the back of the box. Because this goes into detail of what we have here. We have these figures, we have these new cards. So it says here on the back of the box, you may have escaped the nightmare once, but the characters who fled the underground laboratory weren't the only survivors of the Raccoon City incident. At the same time and the same place, parted by unescapable destiny, a second group of survivors also battled their way through the monster-infested streets, sinister RPD hallways, and forsaken sewer depths, struggling to escape their fate. This is their story. So 6 new scenarios. We have new enemies, areas, events, items, and over 9 hours of additional gameplay. Yeah, I can buy that. Work with your allies to survive, but beware, it's a harsher challenge and a relentless new adversary. So, there you go. This looks like it'll be a very exciting addition to the Resident Evil board game. Well, just period, the Resident Evil board game. I was going to say something like playthroughs or whatever, but I think that kind of goes without saying. Too late. So there you go. This is going to be the B-Files expansion. I very much look forward to playing it. Until next time, everyone.